That if we train a child in the way he should go, when he is old, he will not turn from it. So I think faith and guidance can help fortify a young woman's sense of self and a young man's sense of responsibility and a sense of reverence that all young people should have for the act of sexual intimacy. I'm not suggesting that every progressive suddenly latch on to religious terminology. That can be dangerous. Nothing's more transparent than inauthentic expressions of faith. As Jim mentioned, the politicians who come and they're clapping kind of off rhythm to the choir. We don't need that. In fact, because I do not believe that religious people have a monopoly on morality, I would rather have someone who is grounded in morality and ethics and who is also secular affirm their morality and their ethics and their values without pretending that there's something they're not. They don't need to do that. None of us need to do that. But what I am suggesting is this: secularists are wrong when they ask believers to leave their religion at the door before entering into the public square. Frederick Douglass, Abraham Lincoln, William Jennings Bryan, Dorothy Day, Martin Luther King, the majority of the great reformers in American history were not only motivated by faith, but they repeatedly used religious language to argue for their cause. So to say that men and women should not inject their, quote, personal morality into public policy debates is a practical absurdity. Our law is by definition a codification of our morality, much of it which is grounded in the Judeo-Christian tradition. Moreover, if we progressives shed some of these biases, we might recognize some overlapping values that both religious and secular people share when it comes to the moral and material direction of our country. We might recognize that the call to sacrifice on behalf of the next generation, the need to think in terms of thou and not just I, resonates in religious congregations all across the country. We might realize that we have the ability to reach out to the evangelical community and engage millions of religious Americans in the larger project of American renewal, to social programs and growing inequality. And by the way, we need Christians on Capitol Hill, and we need Jews on Capitol Hill and Muslims on Capitol Hill. When you've got an estate tax that is talking about $1 trillion being taken out of social programs to go to a handful of folks who don't need it and weren't even asking for it, we need an injection of morality into our political debate. Across the country, individual churches like my own and your own are sponsoring daycare programs and building senior centers and helping ex-offenders reclaim their lives and rebuilding the Gulf Coast in the aftermath of Katrina. So the question is, how do we build on these still tentative partnerships between religious and secular people of goodwill? It's going to take more work, a lot more work than we've done so far. The tensions and the suspicions on each side of the religious divide will have to be squarely addressed, and each side will need to accept some ground rules for collaboration. While I've already laid out some of the work that progressive leaders need to do on this, I want to talk a little bit about